Hey guys, Josh here, and today I thought we'd take a look at the Transformers Masterpiece MP-18 Streak, or also known as Bluestreak. Now, as you can see, it comes with a two-tone color scheme with the black, and what might be coming off in the video is silver. It's actually kind of a metallic champagne, which I actually prefer. And I do have the original G1, so you can kind of see the color as silver, and this is more of a little bit of a champagne, but we'll do a little bit more comparisons here a little bit later on. Mainly want to give you guys a little 360 of the vehicle. It does look really nice, and one of the obvious things that is missing between this, the color scheme with Prowl, is he's missing his light bar, but he does have the T-tops up top, and they're actually a clear window to where on Prowl they're actually painted over, so it resembled more of the original G1. Just looking at it all the way around, you can see that this guy does need some repro labels, so that's something that I'm going to end up getting with Prowl, something I mentioned in that video, and it's something that I'm going to have to add to him as well. Now, these back tail lights right here, they're actually painted on, or maybe tamper-graphed on or something like that, but they look really nice, and that's something that is not going to peel off, so don't have to worry about that. You can see the little gas cap over here, which is a little bit more visible because of the paint than on Prowl. It's white, so you'll see that whenever I compare those two. But very nice looking. You see you got the tinted windows and everything. There at the headlights again, looks really nice. Nice detail. You got the tamper-graphed Autobot logo there. You have the Z there because this guy was originally a Nissan Fairlady, or you could call it a 280ZT, or whatever you prefer you want to call it. So, which later became the 300ZX, and then now you have the 370Z or 350Z, whatever. So there's quite a few of them that came out, but this is one of the originals right here, and this is such an awesome car. And like I mentioned in Proud, this is the Japanese version, to where you can see that you have these side mirrors. It's a little hard to show up because they're black. You can see that one right there. They're actually located up here instead of here in America and some the other countries. They're actually located on the original car here on the side or on the driver's side door or window. But not too bad. You can see that it has that little gun gimmick because he does not have the light bar there. There is just this little section that pops up. I'm going to go ahead and close it. You can just pull this apart here and flip this all the way down, and you can just close it back up. And that takes care of that section. Just make sure that's all popped back together. So this is actually, if I was going to display him in car mode, this is the way that I would do it. He looks so much better without that gun. We'll take this to the side, and we'll take a look at the guns here in a minute and show you the difference between his and Prowl. It's pretty much the same thing except for the handle, but not too bad of a figure. Now, as far as the lines go, this line, the black part here, is actually painted on to where I believe the original color is kind of like, whatever this champagne or metallic champagne is, it might be painted as well. It's just really nice. It's very hard to tell, but it's perfectly straight, very nice. Whenever you come around on this side, everything is perfectly straight except for whenever you get to this section right here. And this, again, this is my particular figure. If I didn't point it out, you might not notice it. And, it really doesn't bother me that much, but it's something that is worth pointing out just because a lot of these little problems that we get every once in a while with the Masterpiece figures, I don't think we should get them. While this is one of those things where if there's something minor, it probably should be discounted some if you're going to sell it, because if I'm paying for one that's supposed to be in perfect condition, I feel like I should get one that's in perfect condition. So this, very minor, but it's something that I do notice, and something I wanted to point out. Another thing that hasn't happened with mine, but I know my buddy Charles said that I believe one of his wheels has a problem with like setting down and won't roll. That is not the case on mine. You can see that both the wheels on this side roll, and they do on this one as well. Let's go ahead and put him right there. We'll grab Prowl, and you can see that you did the little gun thing right here. So we'll put his gun to the side, and I'll show you that in a second. But you get to look at them side by side, and they are a nice little duo. I can't wait to get the smoke screen, just because he has a lot more of the modifications to the body of the car and a few other things, whenever he's in robot mode, that really show off, especially the head. But not too bad. They look really nice together. And I also have the G1s to show you guys as well. Yeah, but not too bad. Showing them off here with, this is actually the commemorative series Silver Streak, so it happened whenever the date when, they lost the naming rights to Bluestreak here, and they had to call him Silver Streak, but they eventually got it back, and they can call him Bluestreak again. But this is actually the Hasbro version of the commemorative series, so you kind of get an idea what they look like there. Now, there is a version that is painted like this. Unfortunately, I don't have it. I'd really like to get my hands on it, but because it looks so much nicer. This is the way that I really like the way that it looks. This is kind of a little plain, so. But you can see that there's quite a few stickers that they could add to this guy. And again, you know, I'm going to point it out again. I say it every single time, but I really wish they would give me rubber wheels. I can see them not giving me die cast just because of the fact that they need to try to save cost. But as much as I'm paying for this thing, I would like a little something. If I'm not getting die cast, you know, maybe some rubber wheels, that'd be nice. I know it's never going to change because they've already decided to go this route, and they're probably going to continue to do that. But, you know, that's just my little thing that if I could improve the figure in some way, that would be the thing I'd do. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the weapons here. As far as Bluestreak's, it's exactly the same as Prowl's. The only difference that you'll see here is that on Prowl's he has a white handle, and then on Bluestreak he's kind of got that little champagne or kind of gray color handle. So that's really the only difference between those two. So let's go ahead and get into... I'm going to skip the transformation just because I've already done it with Prowl. Let's go ahead and get into the robot mode. Now taking a look at all four figures in the robot mode, you'll notice that the Masterpiece figures take a lot of nods from the original G1s, but while the G1s share the same face sculpt including smokescreen and the same waist, there are a lot of differences between the Masterpiece figures. So let's go ahead and get these G1s out of the way, and let's just concentrate on these guys for the moment. First off, let's show you Prowl. So as you can see, his waist, it's a little bit of a square right there, and you have some little designs over here. You have these little 3 lines, same thing on this side, 3 lines. You have some white, and then a triangle, some red, and then there's like a few other little lines. I don't know if they're all picking up in the light just because it's black, but hopefully you can pick that up. Now, you saw that. Now look at Bluestreak's. It's completely different waist piece. This right here is not a square. It kind of has a little point right here. There's no triangle or little indentions down here. Instead of 3 little lines over here, you have kind of like a little odd shaped box. So a completely different waist there. The other thing that I wanted to show off is the head. So let's go ahead and move up here so we get a good look at the head sculpt on Prowl. Now there's several differences here. One being the eyes, to where his eyes are kind of just like a straight line, to where on Bluestreak's they kind of have like a little jagged down and kind of come up. You'll see a little bit better whenever we bring him up. Let's see if this focuses in a little bit better there. So yeah, there is Prowl, and you can see his blue eyes in there a little bit. Face, exactly the same, except for Bluestreak has some kind of little extra chin. Here to the side, this part is thicker on Prowl. He also has a different crown, and also this section right here is completely different on Bluestreak as well. The other thing being, I believe these things here on the side, which I guess you would call ears. I'm not really sure, but you know, I believe it's a little bit different on Bluestreak. That's the only thing I'm not really sure about. But let's go ahead and take a look at Bluestreak now, and look at that face. It shows up a little bit better there. You can see what I was talking about with the eyes, how they kind of cut down and kind of cut back up, and they're not just a straight line, so that's something different. You can see the difference there on his chin as well. And also the crest, it's a little bit thicker, and it doesn't come up to as much of a point as it does on Prowl. This is the other part I was talking about with this section right here that comes to the side, whereas I guess you could say helmet. That's the best description I can use for it, even though it's, you know, he's a robot, it's all one head. It's a little bit more narrow there, and he doesn't have that little ear thing, or whatever that is on Prowl. So, also, you know, this middle part right here, instead of it just being a much longer piece on Prowl, it's actually a little bit shorter, and it just has that box. So let me show you Prowl's again, and maybe I can get them both in there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a nice little shot. Hopefully you can get that in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation real quick. Focus him back in. As far as articulation, we'll take his gun out. Really don't need it. It's the same as Prowl. It just has this little notch, and it's like a lot of the other Masterpiece figures. You can just plug it into that notch, and you don't even have to close the clamp with his hand. It'll just stay right in there, so really nice. We'll go ahead and set that to the side. These little cannons right here, they're optional. You can use them on Bluestreak. You can decide not to use them on Prowl like I just showed you. It's really up to you and its preference. Now, I know that there's also some third-party companies that are coming out with extras. You know, that's something that you could add on there. I saw that they were coming out with red ones for Prowl for some reason, to where his should be silver, and the red ones should actually go with Bluestreak. So that's something to kind of keep in mind if you want to stay true to the colors. There he is with his G1, so kind of give you an idea there. But these can move independently. They can also extend, something I did not show on Prowl whenever I did his review. You can rotate his head, so you can get a little bit of movement there. It can also go up and down a little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough to where you can get them kind of looking in the sky or just kind of straight forward there. With these little door sections here, you can do however you like. If you want it to look a little bit more G1, you can bring them down, and you can just look just like so. You can kind of put them to the back a little bit if you want. So I like that you have a few options here. This is something kind of new to where that's kind of the way that they're doing it, with the doors kind of tilted up. So not too bad. The other little section right here, don't believe I have that plugged in there, but there you go. You still get a little bit of a gap right here. It doesn't bother me too much, and the back legs are hollow to where on the Lambo or Sideswipe and Red Alert they weren't. They were more closed in. So this looks a little ugly, if you look at it like that. But again, you're not going to display them, with his, face to the wall. It would be pointless. So you're going to display them looking forward, put them in some cool poses. So the way he looks in the back really doesn't bother me that much. He does have quite a bit of arm articulation. He has these joints on the inside that can kind of come in and out. You can kind of see that right there. So it's part of transformation, but it also helps you move the figure if you want to move him 360 here, to where if he's pushed in, that tire is going to get in the way and hinder that. But he can, move this 360. He has a ball joint on that, so he can do whatever he wants there. He can rotate here at the bicep. He has double jointed elbows. He can also rotate at the wrist and open his hands where those four fingers are just a clamp and his thumb cannot move at all. This guy's a little bit more tighter as well. You'll notice that whenever you get into the transformation and kind of moving things around to position them the way you want. Compared to Prowl, both of them, whenever they came straight out of the box, this guy's much tighter on his joints. So I don't know if that's something that they thought they needed to improve on, or it just kind of happened that way. You can rotate his waist there. You also have these little side skirts that you can do however you need to. With his legs, you can see that they are on ball joints, can go quite back quite a bit, go forward, slide all the way out. So I mean, he could do the splits if he wanted to. He can rotate here, he can bend here, and if you want to, you can kind of, there's another joint here, it's part of transformation. It looks kind of funny because he's got a big hole where his knee should be, but you can get some kind of crazy pose if you wanted to. He also has some ankle tilt there. And other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it for the articulation. If I missed something, I apologize, but you guys get the general idea. But there is Bluestreak, and I like Prowl. Bluestreak I like as well. I think my favorite's probably going to be Smokescreen, so whenever I get him in, I'll definitely be doing his review. But, I mean, if you don't, I'm going to get all three, but if you don't have the money to get all three and you can really only break down and get one, honestly, I'd probably go with Prowl. I think I just like his character more, so that's just me, and I think he's got a lot more going on, with the the light bar and a lot more details as far as highway patrol and police and stuff like that. But don't get me wrong, this is one awesome looking figure. I do love this paint job, so it might end up changing. I might say this just because I don't have a color scheme Bluestreak like this. The only one I have is this guy for right now, and eventually I will get him one day. But that's just kind of my 2 cents. Overall design, very nice. I do like the touches that they did to kind of change it up, so I don't feel like I'm buying the same figure over and over again. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoy, and I will talk to you later.